Well, hey there guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, we're looking at the ArcTaylor 55P Inverter Plasma Cutter. Now, normally when I cut metal here on a project for the show, I normally use a metal cutting chop saw. I have used oxyacetylene in the past, but I don't want oxyacetylene out here in the shop. I don't want gas canisters. So I was kind of looking into different methods, ways to be able to cut custom shaped holes in metal, that sort of thing. And I came across a plasma cutter. Not one that uses usual gases like nitrogen or oxygen like some of them do, but one that uses compressed air. And I thought, what an interesting concept. And to be quite honest, I've never used one before, and it was fairly inexpensive. So I picked one up from Amazon, and we're going to look at it today. So let's head over to the bench and see what we're looking at. Well, this is the plasma cutter as it was delivered to me. I have opened it to get the manual out, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up, take the pieces out. I'm going to see what kind of assembly is involved with this. If it's anything extensive, of course, I'll show you what to do, but let's have a look at what's inside this box when you get this plasma cutter. Okay, so on first looking at this, we have quite a lot going on here. We have the built-in 220 volt plug, but as well, this is dual voltage, but it has the 220 volt to 110 volt adapter. I don't know. I'm not sure how much I would want to melt or cut metal with 110 volts. What the amperage would be on that would be astronomical. But it also comes with this little plastic tube. Now this plastic tube will go on the back. This actually goes from our regulator down to our air input for the unit. So we can attach this hose from here to here, and that will provide the air to the nozzle. We also have this regulator. Now this comes with a separate reinforced air hose. If you have a smaller compressor, then this would go from here, and it has clamps to attach it down to your little, say, pancake style compressor. But for me, I have a larger compressor, so this actually has a 1/4 inch fitting right here. So I will just be bringing the hose directly from the reel up on the ceiling there, right down into the back of this. And then of course we can change the pressure input through the regulator here, or I can change it over on the compressor itself, whatever we see fit to do. It comes with, of course, the hose clamps as well if you're going to use the other style of hose. And as well, it comes with nozzles and tips. Now, from what I understand, guys, and like I said, I've never used a machine like this, these nozzles and tips are consumables. They are consumables, and if I'm reading it right, it means that eventually they will give out. How you go about getting new ones to replace it, I don't know. I haven't looked into that yet. So as well with this, we have the ground clamp or the working clamp, and this connects to the machine and then provides a pathway to ground in order to get that arc from your main cutting nozzle, which is this unit right here. And it's nice that on the end of this cutting nozzle, it has this little guide, almost like the feet from a scroll saw. And what that does is you will allow this to ride on your metal, and that gives you the distance of your arc from your metal to the tip here, the cutting tip and the nozzle, to be able to get that arc to blow through the metal in the most efficient way. It also allows you to keep that arc 90 degrees to your metal, because if you start cutting off to the side and that sort of thing, it can cause issues. So it has this cutting nozzle, and it's got kind of a swivel here on the attachment point. So there is some play there on the hose to be able to not be so rigid and give you a little more flexibility when using it. So we'll just have a look at the front of the machine here. We've got a rather large LED display here, and that will give us all kinds of information, things like amperage, air pressure, that sort of thing, whether you're in 2T or 4T mode. Again, that is all explained in the manual, and I don't think I need to go through page by page explaining what to do with this. But I guess what we want to do first is let's get set up for a cut, and I will show you how to set this unit up. Well, before we can do anything, we have to set the machine up. So on the back here, the first thing we need to do is attach this clear hose to our regulator and our air input. So it will get attached from the top section here at the regulator down to the bottom air in. Now guys, these here are just compression fittings. So you can just push the hose in until it stops, and that's it. It is connected. If you want to release it, you just pull back on this ring and your hose releases. So you can just connect it at the top at your regulator and then hook it around like this to connect to your air input. Okay, so that there is pretty much step one done. Now, if we turn it around and look to the front, we have a lower panel here for connections. Guys, it's pretty foolproof. The connection for your cutting nozzle here on the left has this rubberized jacket to protect the threads. I would suggest keeping that, hanging on to it and replacing it on there when this is not in use. But we have a threaded nozzle here, which coincides with this, and we can just spin this on here. You don't need to go crazy putting it on. It just needs to be finger tight, just like that. And the rest is color coded. It's not that difficult. So we have the pilot arc connection, and this is just a little eyelet that goes on here. There's a couple washers there, or a washer, I should say, and we can put that over top of our connection and then put our connector cap back on there. And that is now connected as well, and that will get connected right here. You can see it. Again, it's color coded. This one here, again, not rocket science. This little cord gets connected right here. It's the only place it can go. There is no other place to plug this in. You cannot mess this up, and that just gets plugged in. There is kind of a keyway that makes it so that you can only plug it in one way, and from there you can just screw on the retaining cap to hold that in place. Now, truth be told, that's a little tight for my larger hands. I'd like to see a little more room there, but you know what? It is what it is. You can still get in there, no problem. And the last connection, which is kind of like a twist lock, and that will be right here on the far right of the machine. That is our working clamp or our ground clamp. And that gets put in. It can only go in one way, and you just turn it till it's tight. The next thing, guys, you want to make sure is that you have your nozzle in place and that you have your electrode in place. So this cover comes off, and underneath here, this is your nozzle, and that just unscrews, and your cutting electrode is underneath there. That is the consumable part of this, and the whole kit does come with 3 of those. I don't know how long they last, but you do have 3 to work with. So if you've got all of this set up, the only thing left to do here is to plug it in and connect your air hose. Now, if we look at the back, I've already shown you this, your air hose will get connected to this 1/4 inch quick connect fitting here on the side of the machine's regulator, and your machine itself will get plugged in. Whether or not you choose to use 220 or 110 is up to you. Bottom line is, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go the 110. I'm not even going to try it. I have 220 here in the shop. I have my welding plug here in the shop that I use with my Lincoln Tombstone welder. So there's no reason for me not to utilize that plug for the plasma cutter. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to run it on the welding plug that I already have installed and wired in here. Okay, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of this regular gear that I have on. Guys, please, I've never used this, but you are melting metal. I have shorts and running shoes on right now. That is not happening. I'm going to get my full welding gear on, and that includes denim jeans, leather steel toe boots. That includes my welding jacket. That includes the gloves. That includes the face shield. It's the whole 9 yards. I'm not messing around with this. I'm not playing around. I don't need to get burnt today. And I would rather be a little warm in the outfit to cut metal with the plasma cutter than to receive an injury and then be out of commission for a little while, or just be uncomfortable and in pain for a while. So please, if you're going to be trying something like this or using something like this, take the precautions. We have the safety equipment for a reason. All right, so I have everything set up. We're just going to turn this machine on. Yep. There we go. Now, guys, there are certain settings on here that you want to change. The most important one for me is right up here. I don't know if we can see this, but it says 2T and 4T. Now, what that means in 2T, when you pull the trigger of the plasma cutter, same thing goes with something like MIG welding. When you pull the trigger, it is going to start doing what it does. When you release it, it stops. If you go to 4T, you pull the trigger to start it, you pull the trigger to stop. So for me, I prefer 2T because it allows you the ability to instantly stop if you release that pressure, or the trigger rather. And as well, if you should maybe drop the nozzle or something like that, it doesn't continue to arc and spark. So we need to change the pressure and the settings here. Now we need to adjust this up here, which is the amperage. And according to the manual, we need 35 amps in order to be able to cut the 1/4 inch plate that we have. The pressure of the air needs to be between 35 and 50 PSI. Okay, so at this point we can check for our air pressure, and we can push this top left button here to switch it from cut to air. And we're running at about 33. All right, so I think I have it set where I want. My air pressure, I believe, is about 44, which is good. It's within the acceptable range. This setting here is a seconds setting that sets how long it takes before the voltage transfer to the nozzle. That as well is all adjustable through these settings. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my gear on, and we're going to attempt a cut and see how we make out. Well, that cut amazingly well. There is a bit of blowout at the back of the piece where I cut through, but honestly, guys, that is lack of experience. That there is nothing more than the travel of the nozzle. So I just want to try to cut a hole in the middle of this and just see how we do, and maybe I can improve my results with my second attempt. Okay, there is most definitely a learning curve here, without a doubt, but oh my gosh, that cuts so fast, so clean. One of the problems I'm having using my welding mask is that my automatic shield is going black and I'm having issues seeing. So that is an adjustment within my helmet, but the actual cutting of this is amazing. My goodness, what a great cut. And there you have it. the ArcTaylor 55P Inverter plasma cutter. Guys, color me impressed, honestly. I never once expected this to work like this, and I have never used a plasma cutter before. Now, I had looked into other plasma cutters that use things like oxygen and that sort of thing, or the nitrogen, but I really don't like gas canisters here in my shop, especially oxygen. I heat my shop with a wood stove, and oxygen is not what you want around. You really don't want that out here. It's extremely flammable. It's extremely dangerous. So that version or option for a plasma cutter just didn't work for me. So when I saw this one on Amazon that uses compressed air, the first thing I thought was like, yeah, okay, like that's gonna work. But oh my gosh, it works, and it works so well. I'm very surprised at how well it works. It kind of makes me wonder if it's even worth it for me with my welding projects from here forward. Instead of dragging out my chop saw and cutting the pieces, would it be better to have, say, a square of some kind across my stock and use the plasma cutter to fire through it quickly? I think that will all depend on how quickly you go through the consumables. And the consumables are the little electrode inside and then that nozzle head. But I mean, for now, I'm impressed. Now, there is a bit of a learning curve for the setup. Don't get me wrong. I ran through some brief points here, things like how long it takes the PTS, which is how long it takes for the voltage to transfer to the nozzle to be able to start blowing through the steel. You set that in seconds. And of course, you have to set your air pressure. And all of that is in a chart that is listed in the manual. So it's not even like you need a lot of experience. You can just follow the parameters that they give you and give it a whirl and see what happens. They give you the air pressure, they give you the amperage that you need to run at, and it's all according to both the voltage and the thickness of the material that you are running. So if you're having issues from there, let's say you're not going through fast enough or what have you, you can adjust your parameters and change up your methods, and that will help you to get a better cut. Now, guys, that is nothing more than experience. And just like any tool in the shop, this one is going to take a little bit to get used to, but once you get it under your belt and you're used to its operation and how it works and how it sounds and what it does, I think it's a pretty viable option for a home shop, and it's not really that expensive. So either way, I kind of like this machine. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in this week. I hope you've enjoyed the program. This, again, is just a little bit different. I'm just trying a different machine out here in the shop, and I thought, you know what, why not bring it to a Tuesday episode of the show? There may be those of you out there that have been looking into this style of cutter, and maybe this is something that is of interest to you. Either way, guys, I'm going to post the link down below for this particular cutter, and if you're interested, you can check it out. If you haven't already, if you found any part of today's show interesting, informative, fun, you know what? Why not like and subscribe to the channel? We have an absolutely incredible audience base here on the channel, and I'm hoping that you're going to consider becoming a part of that. Guys, I want to thank you again for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the content today. I hope that if plasma cutting is something that's interest to you, you're going to look into this cutter, or at least start thinking about ways that you can incorporate plasma cutting into your metalworking. But more importantly, I hope you're going to join me again next week when I bring you yet another Alternative Tuesdays. Who knows? Maybe I'll even wear this sexy outfit again. See you next week.